ex-president of the United States of America, Hussein Obama Barackman. Call him what you want. What you want. But I am not going to be calling him ex-president. I'm not going to be referring to this man other than somebody that should be put in jail, locked up with the keys disintegrated, not even thrown away. All right. We're back now. This is Daniel Gallagher, host of Gallagher's Grip, coming to you live from the Gallagher's Grip studio here in the south side of Chicago. And we're going way back, and it is gone to the upper deck of the highest level of allegedly criminal acts that a sitting president, an ex-sitting president, could actually commit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Daniel Gallagher, and today we're going to be covering your friend, your buddy, your ex-Democratic leader, Mr. Hussein Obama Barackman, ex-president of the United States of America. Call him what you want, but I am not going to be calling him a president, an ex-president. I'm not going to be referring to this man other than somebody that should be put in jail, locked up with the keys disintegrated, not even thrown away, completely eliminated. Somebody educate me. I need you guys out there to tell me and help me understand simple, basic realities, okay? Why isn't the CIA, FBI, ATF, local police, local sheriff's department, and every single one of you and me, American citizens, bashing down this man's door if Tulsi Gabbard's report, which we know is true, okay, we know it's factual. What he actually did is create a fake, false narrative to work against the American people. I'm not even referencing President Trump. Let's get past that for a second. This was a sitting president of the United States of America representing you, representing me and my children, and actually doing those things while in office in effort to try to hurt or harm and steer American citizens by being a fraud, a fake, a phony. Ladies and gentlemen, never in my life, being on this planet for 45 years, did I ever think I would ever in a million years speak about an ex-president the way that I am going to today, simply because I respect the president of the United States. I respect my country. But if you're going to be in office and you're going to be doing what he did, let me be clear. This is not a guess. This is not hearsay. This is not maybe. This is not, I wonder if he did it. This is hardcore factual data. And for all you Democrats out there that are listening to me right now, maybe it's time you actually take a step back and say, whoa. Whoa, why am I backing a party that actually does and acts like this? Why? Why would I do that? This is not a joke, America. This is not a game or a joke. This is real. And this is as real as it gets. Fake, phony, false narrative news just to spin and twist and turn and hurt and harm. And you know what? The man Donald Trump, okay, the family Donald Trump, the man Donald Trump, the president of the United States Donald Trump, he didn't deserve this. Have you ever actually had your house raided by a bunch of FBI agents or ATF agents or national security agents? Have you ever had your house raided? Now, I haven't. Perhaps some of you watching this right now would say, yes, I have. Mr. Gallagher, I have. But you want to know something? Could you imagine having all of your stuff rated fake based upon false fakehood? just to ruin a man, to ruin somebody who represents freedom of America, somebody who's trying to fight for us to keep this country alive and kicking and going. Now that is fraud. That is phony. That is fake. Say what you want, people. Say what you want. Comment how you will. God bless you. But don't you dare think for 1 second that there's anything fake or phony about this report. Don't you dare think for 1 second that it didn't happen, because your lovely Democratic president of the United States of America, Mr. Barack Hussein Obama, whatever his name is, it doesn't matter at this point. This man allegedly, which I'll say that to be legal, but come on, allegedly made these acts and did these acts to hurt and harm the American people while sitting in office. Unbelievable. But you know what? He looks good in a suit. He speaks well when we voted him in, and he was the first black man in office, and he was the first black president of the United States of America. Get out of here. Get out of here. Enough is enough. Let me tell you something. This man should be stripped of every single thing that he gained while he was in office. Allegedly. And don't give me the immunity bullshit. I don't want to hear it. Even though President Trump says that the immunity is going to help him. Ladies and gentlemen, open up your eyes. Open up your mind. Come on. Be objective. I mean, who are you supporting here? Who are you supporting and why? Yeah, I'm a Republican, but I'm for the person who has the right agenda, the right person, the right job for the people of the United States of America. This clown went against you and me and our children of this country. And I do not care what anybody says. You guys can tear me up all you want. These are the facts. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing to admit as an American citizen. And quite frankly, there should be so many people at his house right now going through all of his stuff, opening up all his doors, kicking in all his doors and windows, and stealing and taking all kinds of documentation for the sake of trying to indict this man. The Department of Justice needs to step up here, because we don't want to take this. We don't want to take this. Why is it such a big big to do here with this whole immunity deal with President Barack Obama? I think, to be clear, the man should be stripped of his title. He should no longer be referred to as ex-president, and anything that this man gained while in office should be stripped from him, including the existing current security that he has in place. Am I the only one that thinks this? Am I the only one that sits back and reads the Tulsi Gabbard report and actually can decipher and watch what's going on? Do you think for a second they're spinning this? Do you think for a second that they're sitting there making this up? Well, let's just see here, everybody. What can we come up with today for today's story to spin the American public, to get them to start talking about something else? I don't think so, people. I understand the Jeffrey Epstein files. We all get all that stuff. This is real. And this was done by a sitting president in writing on paper. It doesn't get any more real than that. This is a serious thing, a situation here, and it needs to be handled. And this immunity crap better not protect him. This immunity crap better not protect him. Let me tell you this on public record. I have lost all respect for ex-president Barack Obama across the board. I have lost every single ounce of respect that you can lose for another human being because of the actions that he took. While President Trump was in office in his first term, it was so hard for the man to wake up and breathe while simultaneously putting him through just utter hell. It's not right. It's not right at all. And you want to know something? It is payback time. It is payback time right now because you know what? Every single day I'm watching this man go through all of this stuff, the raids, and they're trying to take him down, and they're trying to take his family empire down, and they're trying to hurt and harm. And you see the man in office trying to do what is right for the American public, and he couldn't do it. Every single time he turned right, left, up, or down, he was always stopped, and he was stopped for all the wrong reasons by the Democratic machine, and the Democratic machine needs to come to an official end here in the United States of America, because whoever supports the Democratic collusionists, okay, the delusions of the Democratic machine, they need to get their head examined, and I mean immediately. Folks, come on. If there's anything to be embarrassed about, if there's anything to be disgusted about, if there's anything to need to vomit about, it is this. Because all along, this president of the United States was a good, clean, classy guy, and he looks so good in a suit, and he could speak well, and he does the old salute very well, etc., etc. The man should be arrested. Everything the man has should be taken from him effective immediately. He should be treated like every other person, because the immunity that a president gets, why should the man get immunity if he actually was sitting in office? He was sitting in the office just like this behind his desk and did not like what he actually saw and made them go back and come up with some different results. Created this whole scheme, this whole story, and it was all false. It was all false. Now, come on. That is the highest level of dishonor that you could possibly portray in the history of mankind. I know that there's political things that go on behind the scenes, behind closed doors. I get all of that, ladies and gentlemen, but to do what he did specifically is the highest level of treason that I think exists. Now, we hear the word treason, right? And we hear that word as, oh God, last time I heard that word, it was on a movie, an old movie, a pirate movie. Oh, you're going to walk the plank. You committed treason. This guy did, allegedly. Okay, I'll say the word. Allegedly committed treason. This man is a menace. I'm sorry. I do not mean to disrespect the office of the President of the United States. If you know me and you know what I stand for, you know I have the highest level of respect that a human being can have for that office and the people that make up that office. But this act, this specific act that was done while our president was in office. I'm going to be a president for the people and for all people, both Republicans and Democrats. Isn't that the biggest crock of you could possibly hear? Right? It's all a con, isn't it? All a con. Sat back to come up with the scheme to hurt and harm, to change and alter, to create false narratives. And that just bothers the heck out of me as an American citizen, as a man who runs a podcast, a media company, and as a man who actually looks at this data and deciphers it as for myself. I sit here and I say, how can you be a Democrat? I'm not being, again, disrespectful, rude, ignorant, or arrogant. I'm being sincere. How can you stand for that action? Unbelievable. It's just mind-boggling to me. But you know what? At least I have the balls to say it. At least I have the balls to say that this guy, right? The ex-president of the United States of America. Okay, the man that's out there right now saying, no, I didn't do this, I didn't do it. We got it in writing, pal. We have it in writing. This is not a made-up story time for fifth graders. This is, we caught you. We caught you. The American people caught you. And what you did Mr. President Barack Obama, what you did, you lost all credibility as a sitting president of the United States of America. And I don't care what anybody says. You lost all credibility. Your titles should be stripped from you, just like they'd be stripped from anybody else. Just like they'd be stripped from anybody else. Now, folks, you watch Gallagher's script, you know that I'm a very objective guy, but how can you be objective? How can you not be shockingly angry when you look and read items that really did take place? This is a slap in the face. This is an America that was ran by a guy for 8 years for all the wrong reasons. And it's a fact. And Democrats, if you don't like it, go pound sand. And it's time for you to grow up as a person and say, what in the happened here? And who in the is this guy? Because for him to do that, my Lord, I would imagine, it's equal to, let's see here. Well, I don't know, finding out your wife cheated on you, or finding out, I don't know, something you worked for your entire life got thrown in your face, or somebody else is using information against you that you told them in confidence and they shouldn't. Oh, sounds like President Barack Obama. I don't know what to call him now, but I know that my people, okay, the people that follow me and watch me, I'm hoping they no longer refer to him as President Obama. And again, I'm from Illinois. Unfortunately, you got this big library going up here that's taking God knows how many years past deadline. And why? Why do we need a library? Why do we need Obama's library? Nobody reads books anyways. Nobody goes to the library and actually reads a books anyways. $1 billion library, or however much it costs, God only knows. All I know is that it's not going well. And who cares about having a library? Start a website and call it, Barack Obama's Bookcenter.com, where you can download books. You don't need some monster library in the city of Chicago. For what reason? Come on. And you know what? What should the new name be? I ask you people out there that I think perhaps we're at the stage where we should rename the Obama Library to a name that actually suits the man for who he is or was and what he's actually done. Folks, you can get mad at me all you want, but I am just like you. I'm just a guy. I've got children. I've got bills. I've got the same thing that you do, folks. And I'm sorry if this really pisses me off that look, let me tell you the truth. I liked him. I did think he spoke well. He looked good. He'd had a brain on his shoulders. He fit the part. He fit the role. I do, think that at least I did think he did a good job. I liked him. But you know something? When you actually read and understand, and you listen to certain people, and you listen to the director of intelligence, and somebody who is not just going to make stuff up. Doesn't happen. Sorry. Okay. I get sick to my stomach. And as you all know, I'm a Republican, and I'm 100% for Donald Trump, President Trump to you and me. Okay. This man got destroyed and put through hell for so long, and it was uncalled for. It should have never have happened. Unbelievable. Is that where the United States is at? Hey, listen, you want to run for office? Well, you better prepare yourself, pal, because it's going to be a war, and it's whoever can throw the most daggers, whoever can shoot the most bullets, whoever can shoot the most arrows, and whoever can make your other opponent look just so terrible so the American public can actually vote for the opponent. Is that what politics is nowadays? Maybe that's what politics has always been. I don't know. All I know is the same thing that you watch and you see is the same thing I watch and I see. And ladies and gentlemen, I just get so sick to my stomach. This is one of those topics where I get very, very upset. And I just, the only way I know how to express it is to talk about it here on the Open Podcast. I like for you folks to give me your opinions and your views because, quite frankly, I value them more than you think or know. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the interaction and the responses because it helps me. As we sit around our conference tables here and create ideas, it helps me decipher between our point of views and what other people are thinking. My sincere disgust goes out to this man because of what he allegedly, did. And let's read between the lines, okay? Again, this is not a political platform. This is a podcast. I like doing these solo podcasts because there's so many world events going on. It's hard not to. But my God, when is it going to be an even playing field? Why does it always have to be so dirty, ladies and gentlemen? Why does it always have to be like that? Do you realize if that never happened? And do you realize that if President Donald Trump in his first term was actually given the ability to perform, do you realize where we could be right now? Look at what the man is doing in his second term. Like him, don't like him, he is amazing. He is doing a great job. He is doing trade deals all over. He is so strategic, it's unbelievable. He is doing outstanding. We could have had that 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago. We could have had that a long time ago. Instead, he was stonewalled. Instead, he was ridiculed. Instead, he was a target. Instead, they went after him with every single thing they had. And it was all a lie. And I'll go on a limb here, ladies and gentlemen, and I will say this. I will say that, the Democratic Party, you should be embarrassed of yourselves. You should be embarrassed of this guy, without question, because now when you really analyze it, you had a sitting president for 8 years that has lost all respect should lose all respect from every American, Republican and Democrat, for the actions that he allegedly did. And then you had President Joe Biden following up. Jeez almighty God. Could you imagine? Oh my God. I mean, I'm a Republican for a reason. When you grow up, you got a choice to be a left or a right, a red or a blue, right? And you become that by experiences, and you become that by making your own decisions, and so on and so forth. But I will end this podcast with this statement, and I want you to really think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Every human being, they all bleed red.